Today, I'm so excited to introduce and welcome Dr. Sebastian Vasilescu to our Elevated Healing family. Could you share a bit about your background and what inspired you to become a psychologist?
My parents are both from Romania. Um, I was born here, but I didn't speak English until I went into first grade. For many, many years, I wanted to be a MD, actually, a medical doctor. And I went to a medical magnet in high school. I was a pre-med in undergrad, studied psychology still. But really everything started when I took AP psychology in high school. And after that class, that's when I was like, I really like psychology. I'm really interested in the human mind. I kind of want to know why we do what we do and what makes us, I guess, do some of the things that we do in life. I did more studying in undergrad, and then I took the MCATs. Didn't like the schools I got into afterwards for medical school, so I took a break and I said, I'm going to study again, take them again in the future. But then I started my master's program in psychology, and still in the back of my mind somewhere, I was like, after I finish my master's, I'll do it again. I'll go back, take the MCATs, and go to medical school. And then it never happened. I realized that I actually was happier doing this. It was more in line with me wanting to help people than what medicine in the US has become.
What area of psychology do you specialize in? Why did you choose that to focus?
I would say my biggest focus is on kind of systemic thinking and really looking at the larger aspects of why someone may struggle with what they're struggling with, right? So a lot of times people will be like, I have anxiety, so it's like, how do I just deal with my anxiety? And it's like, but you didn't have anxiety, when you were born. So what happened that you have anxiety? So I really like to specialize in kind of systemic thinking in that way. What I found a niche in, I guess, is substance use treatment world. A lot of I've done a lot of couples work of recent, and a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and eating disorders. Oddly enough, I've done quite a bit of work with clients that have and patients in different settings that have struggled with eating disorder.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the biggest mental health challenge people are facing?
I think a lot of people are not feeling accepted by society in some way. And more often than not, then, they become they have generalized anxiety, depression, sometimes even worse. Sometimes they have personality disorders or major depressive disorder. But I think a lot of that stems from living in a world that doesn't accept them. That somehow they receive some message saying that, you don't matter, or, we don't care about you. And in many different ways, I think that crushes someone to the point where it's like, if I don't feel I'm loved or cared for, then, how am I supposed to survive? How am I supposed to even deal with life? So I think that's the biggest. Technology also is huge. Everyone's all over social media.
Yeah, so actually, my next question was about technology too. Yeah,
it's been a very interesting phenomenon. I think we are seeing even younger kids or younger populations than we expected to come in and struggle with very severe anxiety, very severe depression, very, large struggles with kind of self-image issues, body dysmorphia. They're exposed to so much. I'm just thinking back about my childhood. Uh, the first cell phones we had were flip phone. We didn't have access to the internet on our phone, and texting even, we had to sit there and, spell out the word, letter by letter. And now they have access to everything on the internet. They have access to everything on their phone. I know kids who have tablets and that's how they do their TV shows, or that's how they do some self-soothing when they're at dinner with the family. So everything is all technology. Sometimes I think it's a little scary, because if we're already seeing how much they're struggling at this age, what happens if now everything is AI, or there's nothing in person anymore? Like, how are we going to see how much human beings are going to struggle just connecting with one another?
What can families or friends do better support to some of struggling with mental health?
I think sometimes families also shoulder the outside of the individual struggling the biggest burden, because you're seeing someone that you care about, you love, really, having a, you can't even put it into words how much sometimes people are suffering. But one thing I encourage families to do, or friends, is try to be as understanding as possible. Not so much having to, kind of tell them, oh yeah, I felt like that too, but just understand what they're going through. Give them space to feel like someone's listening to them, someone's hearing them, and actually seeing them. You really see this person suffering and really see what's going on. I jokingly say this: sometimes less is more. Sometimes the simplest things could be the most impactful for someone who's struggling.
You take care of your own mental health.
What I found that helps is exercise, trying to eat healthy. That's a hard one sometimes. But using my support system, and at times I kind of just take some space to do some things that I enjoy. Just something kind of away from all the heavy work, or just life is a struggle for most of us. So I just simple things. Just go outside, read a book, try not to watch TV, and
Perfect.
yeah. So that's the only things I try to do.
Thank you, doctor, for sharing your insight today. We are grateful and appreciate.